This is the plaintiff, Emilio Alvarez. He says he and his girlfriend gave the defendant a deposit on an apartment they were interested in and took video of it to show his mother, who's a property manager. His mother noticed the cabinets in the kitchen were falling off the walls, and he told the defendant he had changed his mind and the house refuses to return his money. He has no right not to pay him back because the apartment is in bad condition, and that's why he's suing for the $425 he's owed. This is the defendant, Donald Ford. He says he took the apartment off the market after the plaintiff and his girlfriend said they loved the place and gave him a deposit. Unfortunately, Emilio's mother got involved in her son's business. She won't let him grow up and be a man. And well, now here they are. He's accused of being a tough landlord.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff put a deposit down in an apartment, but the kitchen cabinets were falling off, so he decided to bail. He wants his money back. But the defendant says he relied on the plaintiff, so tough. It's the case of too many cooks in the cabinets.
Thank you, Douglas. All right. Emilio Alvarez and Angelice Vidal, you have power of attorney for Angelice?
Yeah.
Okay. You are suing Donald Ford Jr. for $425 that you say you gave him as a deposit to hold an apartment that you changed your mind on.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me and tell me what happened.
So basically, I had formerly lived with my brother, and he had moved out the apartment. So I had to basically vacate because I couldn't afford the apartment I was living at. So I had asked one of my coworkers she had basically told me about an apartment that was empty and it was for opening. So she said she would talk to Donald about. So
you go over, you see the apartment, and you
basically
like it?
Well, yeah. Well, no, I didn't. Because.
So why would you put money down?
Because I was at basically a point where I really needed to get out of where I lived at because I couldn't afford it. I was paying market rent.
Well, okay, so then you wanted it.
No.
Well, then why did you put money on? Why didn't you just keep looking?
Well,
What did you give him the money for?
It was a security deposit.
To hold on to it?
No, just basically so he could, this basic security deposit is like.
I know what a security deposit is, but I want to know what was the understanding. What was he going to do for you? Why are you giving him money if you hadn't decided on the place? What was he going to do for you in return for that?
He did say he was going to hold the apartment.
Hold the apartment.
Basically, yeah.
Okay,
So
it's a deposit to hold the apartment. All right, that's not a security deposit, but okay. So what happens? You tell him, here's $425, don't rent it to anybody else, and then what happens? So
I went to my coworker's house on February 15th, and I was asking her questions about the apartment. I was saying.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what day did you give the $400?
I gave it some February 11th.
February 11th?
Yeah,
for
February 11th.
For March 1st?
For February 25th, he said the apartment was going to be ready.
Okay, all right.
So I went to her house on February 15th asking basically how the apartment was and everything, and she said that he wasn't really as well with repairs. So basically that kind of made me like skeptical about the apartment. And
this is the same person who told you about it to begin with?
Basically, yeah.
Why didn't she say that the day before? All right, go on.
So I called Donald the same day, stating that I wanted my security deposit
Okay,
back.
why is this like kind of different than what you had originally said? Is this your mom?
Yes.
Okay, and she's a property manager?
Yeah, in the land.
All right, and at some point you were videoing the apartment, you showed it to her, and then she was like, I don't know about that.
Basically, she said,
repairs.
yeah, she said she knows, because he said it would be ready by the 25th, and I just think in my head it doesn't take 2 weeks to complete as much repairs as that apartment needed. I called her.
What was wrong with it that it needed?
There was mold in the refrigerator. There was insulation inside of the closets, chip paint.
Let me hear from you. He comes up, they like it, they tell you they want it?
First of all, Your Honor, I just like to say what an honor it is to stand before you.
You're honored too, right? Okay, now you guys are even. Go ahead.
Mr. Alvarez and his girlfriend, Vidal, came up to me after talking to one of their co-workers who
Okay, so he goes in there and they like it?
Yes, they did.
Okay, and what was the $425 for?
So that I could take the apartment off the rental list and stop showing it.
And did you do that?
Yes, I did.
All right, so, and the $425, how did that figure come up, that specific
That's
figure?
half of the monthly rent.
All right, and then what happens?
Normally, the procedure for me is if you in any way change your mind, I can only give you back half of your security deposit because it's taken me time and money in order to take it off and get everything ready.
When did you say that to him?
As soon as he gave me the security deposit.
Oh, okay, so your arrangement with him was that if he changed his mind, he'd get half back?
Yeah.
All right, and what happens?
A day later or something like that, his mother calls me up and starts berating me about I'm the worst person in the world. I don't even know this woman. I actually spoke to her on the phone and said, well, you know, if you'd like to come up personally and take a look for yourself, but she cut me off. I don't need to look at anything. Blah, 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 blah. I said, okay, well.
What was the blah, blah, blah? What was she saying?
I can't repeat what she said.
No, I want to hear it.
I can't repeat what she said to me. I can't do that. It was derogatory, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did you return $212.50 to him?
No, I returned $325 to him.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Did he return $320?
I had never gotten no payments of nothing.
Okay, how did you
at
return
all.
$325
I thought we were supposed
to
to be
him?
telling the truth here.
No, look at me. Don't talk to him. Where do you think you are? So, how did you return 300 and how much did you say? 325?
$325.
When and how?
I called him actually and said, okay, I'm going to give you your deposit back. It's going to be underneath the front mat of the of my apartment that I have. It's going to be underneath the front mat. He said that he's going to have one of his boys pick up the check. So I got a call saying the check's not there. I said, look under the front mat as soon as you walk on the front step. So he lifted it up, apparently got it, and I thought everything was done after that. And I really felt bad for the kid because I said I was going to give him half back, but because his mother got involved, I started thinking about, you know, why doesn't a mother let their son grow up and learn their own lessons? Why does she have to get involved? Who is she to get involved in matters that don't pertain to her, as far as I'm concerned? So I wrote the check for $325, but I mistakenly wrote the check to the wrong person.
Who'd you write the check to?
A guy called Brian Rodriguez.
Who's he?
He was a tenant of mine 9 months ago.
Okay, and then what happened?
On April 11th, the check was cashed.
Okay, but all you're going to show me then is a check that was written to somebody else who was cash. How do I know that that was written to him? He's denying that that's his.
Because I'm saying on here, on the check deposit return.
What does that mean?
Deposit return to give him his money back.
You wrote a check to another guy. Did you talk to him on the phone and get a check?
Ma'am, I mean, sorry, Your Honor.
Yeah, don't. Judge. It's judge.
Judge. He never even told me about giving me no security deposit. He never, after the last time we talked, which was on February 15th, that was the last time I had spoken to Donald.
Yeah, but he's sitting here admitting that he's supposed to give you at least half.
He said he was gonna give me half, but he said I never sent any, I don't have boys. I never even sent nobody to his house.
Did he tell you to send somebody? Did you say you were going to send somebody?
Judge, I'm sorry.
Did anybody grab under the mat?
No, I've never talked.
How do I know that's not a security deposit you returned to one Brian whatever? Give me that. Let me see it.
Please take a look at the endorsement on the back.
I will. Let me see your license. Okay, I'm supposed to look at the endorsement and deduce what from it?
The signature.
Yeah, the signature and compare it to what? Because when I'm comparing it to his license, it doesn't look like his.
It doesn't say Brian Rodriguez.
I don't care. I don't know what it says.
I don't either.
It says this.
That's
what it says. It says a squiggly line. So what am I supposed to glean from this? I mean, come on, man. You thought you were going to come to court, show me a check made to a Brian Rodriguez. This is a deposit return on 221. Maybe you returned it to the wrong person. Maybe Brian Rodriguez, your prior tenant is the one who got the money. I don't know what you did. But how is it you're going to prove? Tell me how you're going to prove that this went into this guy's account.
How would someone named Brian Rodriguez know that check would be underneath the...
I don't know. You could be lying. That's one alternative because people in front of me lie all the time. It's, I grant you, strange because you're the same guy who's saying I'm supposed to give him back half of his deposit. Normally, deposits aren't refundable at all. At all. But you're the guy saying, you've added this element to it by saying, so it's kind of weird that he'd be the guy lying about this when he says, you know, I'm supposed to give him back half of it, because that side doesn't have to give you back a penny. That's what holding the apartment means. Unless, of course, he agrees to give you back a penny. So now you put me in a position where I have to determine if, in fact, you've paid him this money or haven't paid him this money. Court's in recess.
All rise.
Because according to you, you're supposed to pay him at least $212.50. All right.
So if the lease doesn't say anything one way or the other, if you change your mind quickly, can you get your money back or your deposit back?
I think so. If the lease doesn't state anything, then why not?
What do you say?
I think no, because you signed into a contract.
That sounds pretty compelling, actually. Short but sweet, going inside the courtroom.
I have to tell you, this case is mystifying me. It really is, because you tell me that you had a conversation with him, that you left a check with him, that or for him, and that he took the check, that his boy got the check, and that all this other stuff. I think the only explanation of this is that you're confusing two tenants, because during the recess, I had our court staff sit with him. I had him call the bank. I had him ask the bank, because we had to kind of figure out how to do it, because the bank isn't just going to say whose account it is. They're not going to give that out. So we had him say, here's my name, here's my social security number, do I have an account there? And their answer was, no, do you want one? So this didn't go into his account. I'm mystified, because normally my go-to position would be that he's a liar. But he's the same guy who stood here and said, I told him I'd give him back half, which he didn't have to say. He could just turn around and say, you know, no, that's a deposit. You don't get half, because most people don't say they give. And it's not on the receipt, but he went ahead and admitted that. So he's not the lying. So what's going on? Who's Brian Rodriguez? Doesn't matter. But I'm so curious. Did anything else come to you during this recess to tell me? Is there anything you're not telling me?
No, there isn't.
All righty, then. It'll just be one of life's mysteries. Okay? In the meantime, because you have told me that that was the agreement, that you would give him back $212.50, and you're very lucky that he agreed to that, because you don't have that in writing. Okay? I am going to order the defendant to pay the plaintiff $212.50. That is what I am ordering. Good luck, folks.
So the plaintiff prevails. He gets half of the deposit, $212 back. This is a real mystery.
Yeah, it really is.
Number one, I got to give you credit for trying to make points with the judge by telling her what an honor it is to be in front of her. Good for you. That's a good way to start. But I think you're getting screwed in some way, because you paid, what, $325 to somebody else?
To somebody else.
And you don't know who it is.
I'm going to have to do some investigation.
Boy, you are. So you're out that plus $212 to him.
Yes, I am.
You learned anything from all of this?
The truth hurts.
Okay. Well, listen, you seem like a nice guy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Officer McDush has some documents you must sign. And here comes Mr. Alvarez, the plaintiff. All right. How do you feel about it? You got you have deposit back. You satisfied?
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't completely honest, but there's nothing I could really do. So
well, the judge certainly looked into this. She did her homework.
Yeah, that's why I can't really complain.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right. Harvey?
I gotta say, when you put money down on an apartment and you change your mind, good luck getting your money back.